여러분 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
제 이름은 Victor Mwangi Interview. Kenya 사람이에요. I am a mural artist from Nairobi, Kenya. So basically what I do is I paint, I illustrate, and I do anything in between that. And ultimately, what I really enjoy is actually painting on walls. And apart from that, I am someone who enjoys traveling the world, watching movies and listening to music. I enjoy that as well. And another thing is that I am funny, but it's not accessible in your location like Netflix and all that. Like I'm funny, but in Kenyan.
You're funny in Kenya. Right here, right?
Yes.
And this is actually mural work that you did. Can you tell us a bit about what you did here?
This is something I did for the Seoul Africa Festival. That was like the primary reason, why I came to Seoul in the first place.
Where did that happen?
On 21st October for Hangang. I did this for the festival. It was in partnership with Kia. For me, I thought of having something spectacular, an African girl in Seoul. The whole point of that was basically to portray that, innocence. She's a kid. Well, it's basically a philanthropy project. So they sponsor schools, institutions, and they partner with them to do projects that basically promote basically the green.
When did you start doing your work as a muralist?
So I started painting murals in 2017. Prior to that, I have a background, I have a fine art degree, undergrad, and I had just graduated at around 2016. Started a small studio practice, and it was not satisfying enough. Always wanted to go bigger, and there's limits to how big you can go with canvases. So when I started doing this, it was just really interesting to me. It was a completely different dimension.
People are a favorite subject of yours.
Yes.
What's the interest in painting people?
The fascination in people's faces is because of the amount of emotion that people's faces actually carry. That's the easiest way to convey emotions. There's a lot of emotions, micro emotion in people's faces when you look at them. So I paint people's faces because I'm fascinated by how emotion show up in people's faces.
What have you found interesting about Seoul?
Seoul is spectacular. Visually, it's a beautiful city. And I feel like the one thing that I have found interesting is how it is possible to come to Seoul and end up not knowing anything about Seoul and not knowing Seoul. Because of how the scale of this city, basically the sheer scale, it's very possible for you to end up not knowing what the city is. All it is, it's connected, and it's something I found interesting about Seoul. And the people, definitely the people.
What color or shape is Seoul to you?
Seoul is all sorts of colors, but I think is there a dominant color here? Black is a very interesting shade, and I can say that black is consistent, especially with people. Seoul is all sorts of colors.
What are some of your near-term future plans?
This time of the year, so when I get back home, there are some pending projects. I finish that, and as soon as I'm done with that, I can basically start planning for my visit, back to Korea next year.
So there's a documentary project, I understand, that you're doing with another artist from Kenya who lives in Korea.
Yeah.
His name is?
Joshua Vera. So Joshua is a videographer and cinematographer, director, whole lot of that, super talented, running a program called Afrohada. So part of that project, and I feel like what I'm doing right now and the work that I've done at Ulji Space builds up to the work that he's been doing, which is promoting African culture, Kenyan culture in Korea. So that intersection of basically African culture, Kenyan culture in Seoul. So
tell us a bit about your Ulji Space mural.
When I came to Ulji Space and I basically got a gist of this space, figured out that it's actually an art center through and through. But coming up from the stairwell, you don't really see that. You just find yourself in Ulji Space. And I got this amazing space just outside the door. And in my opinion, I thought it would be a nice break, like tells you that you just got into a super creative space. So that's why I did those spaces. when you get there, you just find this girl staring at you, and you just feel like, oh, interesting. Breaks the monotony of basically coming up the stairs. And at the same time, I added this portrait of my Kenyan friend to add a bit of diversity into the mural. This is a multicultural art space.
So there's an actual model for the face.
Yeah, someone I know, someone you now know. I've loved this city. The food is amazing as well. I can't believe I'm discovering some of the most beautiful things. I feel like for a city this scale, there isn't as much murals as I would have expected. In fact, I've actually struggled seeing murals in this city.
Yes. Public art sphere in Korea is any building of any size, you have to have a sculpture
yes.
in front. But you don't see murals except in certain areas.
That's like just about the murals that I've seen in Seoul. It's quite surprising. I expected more. Yeah, so I'll be back with more.
Back with more.
Yeah, I'll be back with more.
Yeah. Bring some mural ideas.
Absolutely.
Paint this town. Let's paint this town.
Yeah.
We're gonna see you in 2024?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
안녕히계세요.
Hey Victor,
Yup.
what is that? What are you working on?
A view of Ulji로 from Ulji space. So that's pretty much it.
No way, you just did that here?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You can do this in like every direction.
Yeah,
How about
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Only that I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh no! No! You gotta come back then.
Definitely. I'll be back. To be continued.
To be continued.
To be